welcome to my mum's kitchen. I've been playing around with some Maryland cookie recipes that I hope you'll all like. First one I'm going with is a rocky roads. Right, so we can really use anything you want. What I've got today is we've got some hazelnuts, some walnuts and some flaked almonds right there. We've got the chocolate. This is going to make form the sort of basis of the rocky roads. Got some marshmallows, pretty traditional for a rocky roads to have those in there. I've got also some white chocolate, just to sort of mix up the chocolate flavours for you. Got some currants, some stem ginger, some crystallised stem ginger, and then a kind of a mixture of bits and pieces and chocolate drops and sprinkles and all that sort of stuff. Just a bit of fun really. And I've got both the Maryland cookies here, the double choc chip and the choc chip and hazelnut. So let's get started. First of all, we need to melt down our chocolate. Now I've got 250 grams of dark chocolate here. This is 70%. It's always best to use 70% when you're cooking. You can always add more cream and fat to it to bring it down afterwards. But yeah, try and start with 70%. So get some heat on. We need to get a pan of water on to melt down the chocolate. Not too much. We're not having to overfill it. Just enough to develop some steam to melt it down in what we call bain-marie. So I'm just going to get a big bowl, nice, much bigger than the pan itself, and put that on there. What's really important with melting chocolate down is that no moisture gets into the chocolate. As soon as any moisture gets into the chocolate, it's all going to go dry and all horrible and messy, and you have to throw the whole lot in the bin and start again. So don't get any moisture in it. So I'm also going to put with the chocolate 50 grams of butter. Okay, that has come up to simmer. You can see just come up to a light simmer. We're going to turn that down, get the bowl on. Just let that tick over nicely. Make sure the bowl isn't touching the water. We're just going to give the inside of the bowl another double checking dry. So into there, got our chocolate, got our butter. That's going in. Don't have to be precious about it. That's just going to gently melt down on its own. There we go. I'm just going to leave that. Okay, so now we're going to cling film the container that we're going to put it all in. Once again, this is just to help us lift it out later once it's all set. Double line it. Way so you don't catch them, and that's done. So as you can see, this is beginning to melt nicely. Try not to overwork it and over move it. So let's get that off the heat, making sure we don't get any drips of moisture into the chocolate itself. Okay. This is the fun bit. This is where we can use whatever we want. I like to add a little bit of cream. Now, maybe a tablespoon or two. Because it's 70%, it's pretty rich at this point. So, a couple tablespoons of cream just helps it to thin down, not be quite as strong, and it also will give you a little bit more chocolate to play with as well. That's single cream. Okay, so into this, whatever you want. So we're going to start off with some marshmallows. I'm just going to cut these down a little bit, just so that you don't get too larger pieces coming up in the rocky roads. There's my marshmallows. Let's go a bit with everything. So let me put my hazelnuts in. Put them in there. Maybe 2 tablespoons of each. That's the walnuts. And now the flaked almonds. Got currants. Once again, maybe a table or 2 spoons worth. Crystallized ginger. This is really strong. So cut it down nice and fine, because you just want a kind of little burst of it rather than an overpowering sensation. And then our cookies. Now I've got both of them here. We've got the double chopped chip and we've got the hazelnut. Like I say, you can have half a pack of each sat in the cupboard somewhere. It's perfect. So take them up and I'm just gonna lightly break them up. Like so. There we go. In go my marshmallow. And I'm also going to add a little bit of white chocolate just to sort of break up the type of chocolate that we have in there, really. There we go. Now just mix it all up together. And what happens is the chocolate acts as a large sort of binding agent. So you want to get these well mixed and evenly sort of distributed so that you get a bit of everything in your Rocky Roads, really. That's what you really want. Okay, that's properly mixed up. Now that that's done, put the Rocky Roads into our dish. I know it doesn't look particularly attractive at this point, but believe me, it's all come together and we've cut it out. You end up with a kind of nice marbling effect running through of all the different treats and lovelinesses that you've put in there. Try and push it in reasonably firmly. You want to try and get out any big air bubbles that might be in there. And then just as a sort of final twist, I'm going to put some little sprinkles on top. So when you cut them out, it'll just adds to a nice little kind of prettiness of it. I'm going to go for the white chocolate on this one, just to contrast with the chocolate we've already got. So there we have that. That's now going to go in the fridge for maybe an hour, just long enough for it all to set properly. And then we're going to whip it out and we're going to eat it. But the best bit is always this bit. Hopefully this should pop straight out. There we go, easy. Get all the cling film off. Now I've got a good bread knife for this one. Just will help to cut through any kind of different textures that we've got running through it. Now this is going to be great. Not necessarily as a mains dessert, but you know, when you get home from the pub, get home from work, sat in front of the telly, playing the Xbox, whatever it is, this is just a lovely sort of part-time, covers all the bases snack. Enjoy.